Hello, my name is Oliver Glonz and I'm working as a professor of Old Testament at Andrews University. I'm also a team member of the EDCPC research group at the Free University of Amsterdam. Now, in this video tutorial, I would like actually to show you how you can utilize the text feature in SHEBANQ for browsing and researching the Hebrew text. And you see I've logged in here to SHEBANQ already, and I have clicked on the text. Now, when you go to the text site, you will directly see that the window is basically separated into a section, namely the show section, show word, show query, show notes, and then the major part, which is displaying the actual Hebrew text. In order to choose your book and chapter, you click here on the book, for example here Genesis. Now you're in Genesis chapter 1 and the chapter number, for example chapter 50. Now you're at the end of the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 50. Now for the purpose of this tutorial I'm going to choose Jeremiah chapter 1. If you want to display the book names in a different language, you can click here and can choose your language of choice. I usually like to have the Latin book names presented here because these names are exactly the names that are utilized later for query building. There will come a later video tutorial on how to build queries. So after we have figured this out, let's move here to this left section where it says EDCPC 4, 4b, 4s. Now, the EDCPC database here on the SHEBANQ site comes in two versions. In the version 4, which is the first version of the EDCPC database, it is outdated on a monthly basis by the 4b version. The 4b version basically contains the current version of the EDCPC database, and every month actually this 4b version is being updated by the EDCPC research group. So you get the latest version always by clicking on 4b. 4s is not available. That is the stable version of the EDCPC 4 that is not yet released. Alright, I suggest that you always go to 4b because that's the most current version. Now, then you have Hebrew and phonetic, self-explanatory. Hebrew, here you see the phonetic. When you click on Hebrew, you see the fonts, the Hebrew fonts, displaying the text in its Hebrew fonts. Phonetic would be displaying the text by the phonetic system. On the far right, you see text, and then notes 1, 2, 3. Basically, you have here three different options of viewing the text. The main option is just having a look at the text as you see it here, and then you have kind of more advanced ways of having a look at the text. So when you click on the notes option, you will see the Hebrew text in a different format, allowing you to look at notes that you produce yourself or that you that other users have made. For example, here in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 2, if I click here on this note symbol, you see that a user, in that case it was myself, did produce a little note. I wrote Haya devar Adonai Elaf is a typical phrase used by Jeremiah. I see these query cells. If I would click here on that link, it will bring me to the query that searches for the Haya devar Adonai phrase. So the note section allows you to get access to notes that you or others have made and visualize them. There will come a separate video tutorial on how to write notes. Then option number 2 is syntax. Syntax is a very, very helpful way of displaying the text because it allows you to see the clause parsings and the clause relations. For example, here we have a relative clause. That relative clause is indented 1, 2, 3 times as it's made dependent upon that first nominal clause. What we usually utilize in order to display the text and textual hierarchy of the Hebrew text is the CTT file. Unfortunately, this very well this good way of displaying the textual hierarchy is not yet available on SHEBANQ. But basically what you see here is exactly the same information that you would see here in the text display according to syntax. Okay, good. Let's go back here to the text. There's one final option that I'm missing here, and that is when you are in the text section, you can click on the verse number, and the verse number will allow you to get access to the entire, almost entire encoding of each word. Once you have clicked on the verse, a third option will show up, and that's legend. When you click on legend, a pop-up window shows up which allows you to select what type of information you actually want to see in this more advanced view. For example, Ketif Kere, or you see I can click things away. Perhaps I only want to see the text with the gloss. So here you go, here you have the English gloss. Or perhaps I'm interested actually in the phrase function that the phrases contain. So now I'm just looking at the phrase functions. You see here the subject phrase starts, you see this little gray boundary, starts here and it ends here. So all is the subject. Now if I want to see the clause boundaries as well, I click here on the clause, and perhaps I just want to see the clause type and relations. Just click away these other options, and you see that we have actually a clause running from Divrei Yirmiyahu all the way down to Kohanim. The next phrase is an attributive phrase. You see here the normal clause is attributive. This attributive clause then starts with Asher and it ends with Binyamin. And then I can also show the sentence structure. You see that the sentence starts with Divrei but doesn't end with the last verse of verse 1. You have to actually click on verse 2 as well, and then you see that the sentence is quite a long sentence and does not end until the end of verse 2. This is something you could also nicely display in the CTT display of the Hebrew text. You see here that the sentence, the first sentence goes all the way down to le malcho. So we have 4 clauses that are contained in one sentence. We have 2 relative clauses dependent upon the first nominal clause, and then we have an infinitive clause as an adjunct clause connected, being dependent upon the second Asher clause. Okay, good. Let's move back here to the SHEBANQ site. Let's unclick here the verses. Now, after I've showed you those options, I would like to remind you that these are crucial. It's crucial to here and there display more than just the running text. It's crucial, it's central at the moment where you start building queries. Because when you start building queries, you can basically learn from the structure what type of phenomenon you're looking for. It's also excellent because you can copy paste these different codes that you otherwise would not easily get access to. Again, more about that in a separate video tutorial on querying the Hebrew text. Alright, good. Finally, you see here the show section. When you click on show words, it allows you to click on a word, for example here divrei, and you see that automatically the word with that lemma davar is being highlighted throughout the entire text. If you want to choose another color, you can easily do so by choosing, for example, here blue. Now everything appears in blue, and so you can go on and choose other words. For example, here Jeremiah. Now Jeremiah appears here in green. Let's have him show up in red. So so you can choose these words, get them highlighted, and increase the efficiency of your reading. Increase the efficiency of your reading flow. When you have clicked on a word, for example here Kohanim, let's click on Kohanim. Let's choose another color, Kohanim. Let's do it in green. It will show you a short gloss and then the lexical form of the word. Here we have Kohanim, it's a plural masculine, absolute form. Here you see the lexical entry, namely the singular absolute form of Kohen, priest. You could click on this word and it will transfer you or display you the more information about that word, the vocalized version, the consonantal version, the disambiguated version. Again, a little bit more about this when we do our query tutorial. You can also go to lexicon, where you're transferred to the word Kohen, and you will see it in the context of the lexicon. Okay, let's go back here to the text. This is show words. You can also undo all the selections. You see now nothing is appearing there anymore. You can click on show queries. Now when you click on show queries, you will see all the queries that have been run by users that are capturing one of the phenomena in Jeremiah chapter 1. For example, here Oliver Glantz did a query on, what was that? On all verbs, select all verbs. So you can choose that query and then make all the query results of that query visible if you want. Okay, let's hide the queries, and then the show notes. I think that's self-explanatory. In the show notes, you will see all notes that have been released or that have been added and published. That's important. Only the published notes are showing up here. I think when we go here to the EDCPC version number 4, you see that there are 2 notes that Oliver Glantz has made public, so any user could click on them and then actually see the note. Okay, good. This is basically a summary of what the text options here on SHEBANQ allow you to work with. If you have any questions, please write a comment here below this tutorial. I'll try to respond as quickly as possible. Thank you.